Have you ever stared at a stock chart and it just felt like you were trying to read a completely foreign language? Well, we're going to change that right now. By the end of this, you're going to have a super clear, step-by-step process for finding a stock with real potential and actually understanding the story that its chart is telling you.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to learn how to filter through the thousands of stocks out there to find the few that matter. Then, we'll get into decoding the language of the charts themselves. After that, we'll identify the critical floors and ceilings that price action follows, and then we'll spot some simple patterns that can signal a great opportunity. And finally, we'll put it all together into an actionable pre-trade checklist so you have a solid plan.
You know, the first hurdle for any new trader isn't what you think. It's not about complex strategies. It's just the noise. There are thousands and thousands of stocks out there. Where do you even begin? It can feel totally paralyzing. So let's talk about finding the signal.
This is the big question, right? You can't just throw a dart at a board and hope you get lucky. The pros, they have a system. They know how to find where the action is happening.
Okay, let this sink in because it's a hard truth that's going to save you so much time and frustration. On any given day, 99% of all stocks are just noise. They're not moving. There's no real opportunity there for a short-term trader. So your first job isn't finding what to trade, it's learning what to ignore.
So what are we looking for in that tiny 1%? It's really simple. We're looking for big price moves. We're looking for volatility. We're not long-term investors here. We're more like hunters of volatility. Our job is to find the stocks that are making big, exciting moves today. And this right here, this is our hunting map. It's a 5-step filter, and it's all based on good old supply and demand. First, we look for demand by filtering for the day's biggest percentage gainers. Second, there's got to be a real reason for the move, a catalyst, like big news or earnings. Third, we focus on the price sweet spot, usually between $1 and $20, where stocks can make those huge moves. Fourth, we need to see high relative volume. That tells us other traders are interested, like right now. And finally, we look at supply. A low float means there aren't many shares out there to trade. And you know what happens when you get high demand and low supply? You get the potential for absolutely explosive moves.
Okay, so we've used our filters, we've found a stock that looks interesting. Now it's time to figure out what it's trying to tell us. So let's jump over to the chart itself and see how this whole story unfolds.
Now, you've probably seen a simple line chart. It's okay. It just connects the closing prices. It tells you what the price did. But a candlestick chart? Oh, that's different. It tells you how the price got there. It gives you 4 key pieces of information: the open, the high, the low, and the close. It's a much, much richer story.
And this breaks it down perfectly. The big, thick part of the candle is called the body. That shows you the tug of war between where the price opened and where it closed. Those little thin lines, the wicks, they show you the extremes, the highest and lowest points the battle reached. A green candle means the buyers, the bulls, won that round. A red one means the sellers, the bears, won. Every single candle is its own mini battle.
So when you think about it, every single candle is basically a snapshot of market psychology. And learning to read these shapes, a long wick here, a short body there, it's like you're learning the universal language of the financial markets. It's telling you who's in control at any given moment.
All right, so once you can read the individual candles, the very next step is to figure out the landscape they're moving in. And to do that, we're going to talk about key price levels that act just like floors and ceilings.
First up, we've got support. The easiest way to think about this is as a price floor. It's a level where, time and time again in the past, buyers have stepped in, stopped the price from dropping any lower, and pushed it right back up. It's a floor.
And of course, the opposite of a floor is the ceiling. We call that resistance. It's a price level where sellers tend to show up in force, stop a rally in its tracks, and push the price back down.
And here we can see it happening in the real world. Look at that. You can see the price literally bouncing between that support floor and the resistance ceiling. But now check this out, because this is a really important idea. When the price finally breaks through that resistance ceiling, notice how it comes back down and bounces off of it? That old ceiling has just become the new support floor. This role reversal is one of the most powerful things you can learn to spot on a chart.
Okay, so we're making progress. We can find a stock, we can read the candles, and now we can identify its floors and ceilings. Now we can finally start looking for specific, simple patterns that give us clues about where the price might be headed next.
Let's start with a total classic, the hammer candle. So picture this. The price is dropping, 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 and then this candle forms. That really long lower wick tells a powerful story. It says that sellers tried to push the price way down, but the buyers stormed back in and drove it all the way back up. It's a visual cue that the buyers are waking up and a reversal might be on the way.
Okay, building on that, here's a two-candle pattern called the bullish engulfing. You get a little red candle showing some selling, but then it's followed by a massive green candle that completely engulfs it. The message here is even more powerful. It's saying the buyers didn't just stop the sellers, they completely overwhelmed them. This is a huge sign that the momentum has shifted.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground, from finding the right stock to reading its story. But listen, none of that means anything if you don't have a plan. This final section is, without a doubt, the most important one. It's about putting it all together into a disciplined checklist before you ever risk a single dollar.
This is it. This is your pre-trade checklist. This is what separates professional trading from just gambling. Before any trade, you have to be able to answer every single one of these. Number 1, what's your thesis? Why the stock? Why right now? 2, where are the key levels? You got to know your floor and your ceiling. 3, what's your entry trigger? Are you waiting for a hammer at support? A break of that ceiling? Be specific. 4, and this is non-negotiable, where is your stop loss? You have to know exactly where you'll get out if you're wrong. 5, where's your price target? Know where you plan to take profits. And finally, the most important math you'll ever do, the risk-reward check. Is your potential profit at least double your potential loss? If the answer's no, you don't take the trade, period. This checklist is your shield. Use it.
So there you have it. You now have the fundamental tools. You know how to find the signal in the noise, you know how to read the language of the chart, and you know how to build a solid plan. The process is now in your hands. So the only question left is, what story are you going to uncover in the next chart you see?